Hey friends, I'm Ivan and I've been putting off making this video for honestly probably 8 months now. Every time I sit down to explain what this channel is actually about, I end up sounding like every other fitness guy on YouTube. And that's not what it is. So let me just tell you the real story, because I think if you are watching this, you might be going through some of the same stuff I went through. I am 43 at the time of this recording, and I've been writing code and managing teams for over 20 years. I've worked with some big companies, Samsung, Panasonic, bunch of others. On paper, everything looked great, but here's what wasn't on my LinkedIn. I was completely falling apart, both physically and mentally. That's me in my early 20s, and honestly, it got worse before it got better. By my 30s, I was like getting winded walking upstairs. I used to live on the 4th floor with a broken elevator back then, and it was a real feat for me, believe me. Those afternoon crashes where your brain just stops working. Sleeping through meetings, sounds familiar. That was my life, every single day. And the weird thing is, I knew what I should be doing. I'm an engineer, right? I can figure out complex systems. I had spent countless hours researching workouts, nutrition, all of it. I probably knew more about fitness than most people who actually looked fit, but I couldn't make it stick. Nothing worked, or maybe it worked for like 3 weeks, and then I would hit deadline or travel for work, and everything would fall apart again. I felt like such a fraud. Here I am optimizing complex systems for a living, and I can't even optimize my own body. That was embarrassing. The breaking point came when I was in a leadership meeting. This was probably 5 years ago, and I'm trying to present this big technical strategy for a new product, but I'm just tired, like, bone deep tired. I worked late that night, the night before, so I just propped myself with a hand, waiting for my turn, and of course I drifted off. But fortunately I started sliding off and woke myself up just in time, and even was able to deliver my speech somehow. But thoughts were escaping me, and I felt embarrassed like 4 times in those 15 minutes. And I could see people in the room looking at me like, is this guy even okay? That's when it hit me. My body wasn't just affecting my health, it was affecting my career, my credibility, how people saw me as a leader. And I had this moment of clarity. I'm approaching this all wrong. I'm trying to follow fitness advice designed for people who don't work the way we work. People who don't have the mental demands, the schedule calls, the constant context switching. So I decided to approach it like any other engineering problem. What's the real requirement here? What am I actually optimizing for? We know this from systems theory, right? And that's when everything clicked. I wasn't trying to get a beach body. I was trying to build a system that would give me sustained energy, mental clarity, and the kind of physical presence that matches my professional capabilities. I started treating my body like infrastructure. Critical infrastructure that everything else depends on. I threw out all the bro science, all the no pain, no gain stuff, and I engineered something that actually worked for my life. 10 to 30 minutes, a few times a week, no gym, equipment that fits in the corner of your apartment, straightforward nutrition and recovery protocols. And it worked. Not just the physical stuff. Though yeah, I finally got that abs I had been waiting for like 20 years, okay? But the mental clarity, the energy, the confidence, it changed everything. Once I connected all the dots and figured out what actually works, I knew I had to get this information out there. So I wrote it all down Everything I wish I had known back when I was struggling in my 30s. I made it completely free because I remember how lost I felt back then. If you are in this place right now, grab it. Links in the description, or you can just scan this QR code. This is the system that changed my life, quite literally. I started sharing this with other people in tech, and they kept having the same breakthroughs. The same, why didn't anyone tell me about this before moments. And I realized there's no one talking to us. All the fitness content out there is either for professional athletes or people who have unlimited time. Nobody's speaking to senior developers, engineering managers, CTOs, people who intellectually demanding jobs and weird schedules and a high stress. That's what this channel is really about. It's not about workouts, though we will do those. It's about finding out how to build and maintain high-performance system, your body, that actually supports the way you work and live. Every video I make, every workout, I'm thinking about one thing. How does this help someone like me? Someone who needs to think clearly for 8 hours, who needs to show up with energy and presence, who travels, who has deadlines, who can spend 2 hours in a gym every day. I call them performance protocols instead of workouts because that's what they are. They are systematically designed to give you specific outcomes that matter for your career and your life. So if you are still watching, here's what you can expect from this channel going forward. Real talk about challenges of staying fit when you have a demanding career. Specific protocols that fit into your actual life, not some fantasy version where you have unlimited time and no commitments. And honest discussions about the mental side of this stuff, because let's be real, that's usually the hardest part. And hey, if you want to put this stuff straight into action, come join us every Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern European Time for a live masterclass and workout. I break down this system, answer questions, and we do some seriously energizing workouts together. It has become this amazing community of people who just get it. I'm not going to promise you will get shredded in 30 days. I'm not going to yell at you about motivation. What I will do is share everything I learned about building sustainable systems that actually work for people like us. And look, my journey isn't over. I'm still learning, still discovering new insights, and share all of this here on this channel. And here's what I really want. I want to help you discover a world where you don't beat yourself up for that expired gym membership you haven't used again this month, where you don't need willpower to drag yourself through workouts, where your colleagues and friends actually admire your strength, your energy, and your confidence. I think we can build something here, a culture where engineers and knowledge workers don't just survive, they thrive, where high performance includes your health, presence, and self-respect. If that sounds like something you want to be a part of, stick around. Subscribe if you want. And if you are dealing with some of the same stuff I was dealing with, you are not alone. And it's not actually as hard as you think it is. Alright, that's probably enough rambling for one video. See you in the next one.